Welcome everybody, this is ProbablyRed, promo card Dizo Cabal Chairman. We're doing a nice, relaxing, double feature. We're going to do Enemy at the Gates and a reading of Dizo's flavor. Sit down, you're a good kid. Smart, loyal. We notice these things. Somebody like you can go places if you play it right. Big places. If you get the right opportunities, who knows, maybe all this whole city can be yours someday. You'd like that, wouldn't you? Well, kid, as it turns out, I've got an opportunity for you. The opportunity of a lifetime. But I'm gonna need you to do something for me first. No one speaks of the Cabal's origins. Did it creep out of the shadows of Arjun Port, transplanted from another land? Wherever it was born, it's flourished here. When Caiaphas died, rebellion spread like wildfire. Lord Commander Roland grew desperate in his effort to maintain control of Arjun Port and made a dangerous bargain. In exchange for turning a blind eye to the Cabal's operations within the city, he received badly needed food, water, and foot soldiers for the battle to come. Roland got what he wanted, at least for a while, but he underestimated the depth of the Cabal's cunning and the lengths to which they would go to gain power. And at the center of their schemes is a figure referred to in hushed tones as the Chairman. His true identity is a mystery, but the criminal underworld of Arjun Port knows better than to question an order coming from the top. Dizo Cabal Chairman is here to make you an offer you can't refuse. Dizo is a schemer, the mastermind behind an unprecedented power grab in which the Cabal seized control of the Crown Watch and threw Roland into his own dungeon. And by now we know how that ended. You won't catch the chairman in a fair fight. He rarely gets his own hands dirty. But with a seemingly endless supply of expendable underlings to follow his orders, why would he need to? Dizo's a businessman at heart, and there is nothing he loves more than cutting a deal, preferably at gunpoint. So what's it gonna be, kid? You in? Chapter 17, Enemy at the Gates. The summer the clan swept down from the mountains remained fresh in the minds of those who had witnessed the carnage that followed. 2 decades had passed since the serpents and their riders first darkened the skies over Arjun Port. But old fears die hard, and a generation of veterans still kept one eye to the north, watchful, wary. The second time that Eileen called the clans and rode south to Arjun Port, the politics had changed, but the feeling was all too familiar. 19 summers ago, a brokered truce, her marriage to Caiaphas, had put an end to the war and saved the city from certain destruction by the clans. This time, by law, Eileen was already Queen Regent. But the people of Arjun Port had never truly accepted Eileen as one of their own. To them she was forever an outsider, a savage of the clans. Behind their hand they named her Queen of the Wilds, tolerating her presence only under Caiaphas' unwavering authority. Now Caiaphas was gone, the eternal throne vacant. The gates were barred to Eileen, and Valkyries swarmed overhead. Uncertainty reigned as rumors swirled through the streets. It seemed that Lord Commander Roland had ordered the gates sealed, but then retreated into the spire and withdrawn from view. Eileen's messages to Roland went unanswered, and the Crown Watch took on a hard edge in rejecting their lawful queen. No one seemed to know the truth of where things stood. Who was truly in charge? And reports from Eileen's spies within the city were slowing down and contradictory. Her most trusted generals urged their queen to launch a swift and decisive attack upon the paralyzed city, to honor the ways of the clans. to erase the shameful truce of their last journey to Arjun Port, but Eileen resisted their calls for violence, facing down those among her followers bold enough to suggest that hesitation to destroy her enemies made her weak. She was patient, content for the moment to wait. And so it was the siege of Argenport. So it was that the siege of Argenport began in earnest. The clan horde built a camp that swelled outside the city's high walls, and trade to and from the city, the capital, ceased. Then, some weeks later, in the small hours of a quiet morning, a lone figure slipped out of the sleeping city with a story too shocking to believe. The Lord Commander had been deposed and imprisoned, and just last night was killed in his cell by an unknown attacker. The Cabal had taken control of the Crown Watch. Argenport had survived the rebellion, but crumbled from within. The bounty hunter rode out of the camp alone, just passing through, but as he left the city in a distance, a chorus of horns rose from the camp behind him. Once more the clans were called to war. Thank you for sitting or standing, maybe you were standing and listening to this Eternal lore. I just wanted to say that I really enjoy doing these readings, and thank you for your time, and I hope that you continue to come and listen to them. Just a side note here, it started during chapter 16 that lore began to, happen and flow like into the game, like as far as these specific articles that were based around giving the game more story. So I just wanted to note that here, that it doesn't start at like chapter 1, because chapter 1 was the story came out through the cards and through campaigns and through other means. This was an additional way that they would give lore to the game.